with 1 goal and 1 assist, number 29, Leon Draisaitl. Your second star tonight from your Edmonton Oilers with 2 assists for his 100th point, number 97, Connor McDavid. And your first star tonight from your Edmonton Oilers with 3 goals, number 14, Jordan Eberle. And now down to Oilers TV's Tom Gazzola, who's with number 14 of your Edmonton Oilers.
Jordan, a big 5-2 win to end this season. How would you describe this night? You get a hat trick, Connor gets 100 points. How would you describe what went down tonight?
Sometimes these games are tough to play and your mind's elsewhere, but I thought we responded well. Found a way to get up early and take over from there.
What can you say about the way you guys are going into the postseason with all these wins?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is you want to be a confident team, be confident individual, so you bring out your best. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good night for us. We outshot them, played well, and hopefully we can roll from there.
All right, we'll see you Wednesday night against the San Jose Sharks.
Thank you.
Jordan Eberle and the Oilers are headed to the postseason after a big 5-2 win over the Canucks.
Seconds on the 5-on-3. Kleppbaum to Draisaitl. Top of the circles. Now it's Eberle. Peering inside. Back door. And a deflection. It'll be Eberle's goal. And it slithers past Richard Bachman. And after all that, the Oilers get a friendly ricochet. And Jordan Eberle will take it. He's got goals in back-to-back games. And his 18th makes it 1-0 Edmonton. The time, 18:46.
Pretty passive approach from the Edmonton Oilers early, but Draisaitl swung it down low to Eberle, who attempted to make a pass and a ricochet, I believe, off the defender's skate first, and then passed. Lucas Sabisa was down low and did it. Eberle basically right off of the left foot of Sabisa into Lynette.
Sometimes it's
Nugent Hopkins is part of that trio. Here is Eberle. His shot upstairs, scores. You called it, Doctor. Eberle's got 2 tonight. And the Oilers have the lead back.
Check out who won the draw. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got kicked out, so Jordan Eberle, he gets in there, he forces the draw, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, he's the guy that brings pressure down the wall. And then Jordan Eberle, we talked about his shot, talked about him being able to fire it more. He takes 1 step and then he rips it as he's falling to the ice. So a lot of things go into this play. Hustle off the face-off on a lost draw, good pinch down the boards, and then
The only way to counteract is to get pucks deep, and we didn't do a good enough job of that tonight.
This will be the first time in more than a decade that neither you or your brother lead the team in scoring. How big a feather in the cap is that for Bo Horvat just into his 3rd year?
Yeah, no, he's been good for sure. But I've said that this before, we haven't been good enough this year, me and Hank. So good for Bo, he deserves that, and he's been really good. But for the 2 of us, we got to come back and be better.
From your experience, and you don't have a vested interest in this, I'm curious, what's Connor McDavid going to go up against in the playoffs? Is he going to get?
release of Jordan Eberle on the forecheck turnover.
McDavid moves in right off the faceoff. Centers, Padula scores! Connor McDavid, point number 99, and the Oilers lead 3-1.
Well, we saw Chris Tanev play Connor McDavid earlier, and Lucas Spiza gets looking at the puck. And boy, oh boy, you can't look at the puck on Connor McDavid. Luka, he's down, he's looking at the puck, and that pass comes across, and Chris Tanev can't protect the stick. Daniel Sedin, McDavid goes by. What a beautiful pass, right through the feet of Chris Tanev and Kajula. who's been a goal scorer.
Starts with a rush down the right wing, a shot off the pads of Bachman, the rebound Lucic, fed Nugent Hopkins, backdoor, and a hat trick for Jordan Eberle, the second of his NHL career, and Edmonton's pouring it on here at Rogers. It's 4-1, and Eberle becomes the 5th Oiler this season to hit 20 goals. He hits it on the number tonight with a hattie. And there are lids. Dishing off, Daniel Sedin, a steal by Connor McDavid. 99 points, looking to make it 100. Over the line, dishes off, backdoor score! There it is, that's 100 points for Connor McDavid. Draisaitl shot squeaks through. Oilers 5, Canucks 1, and Connor McDavid becomes the first Oiler in 21 years to hit the 100-point barrier.
He's so quick, and he starts the play 170 feet back in the Oilers zone, hops inside of a Vancouver Canuck pass, strips it the other way, stretches the ice with the speed, hits the trailer late. You can hear it's the Oilers bench. McDavid slides it across the Draisaitl, and that shot got sifted home. And you're going to hear MVP chants here.
Connor reaching 100 points on the season after you scored the goal. Did you say anything to him?
Well, it's obviously a pretty special moment. You know, there's very few guys that ever hit the 100-point mark, and you know, he's been amazing for us all season. So you know, obviously you congratulate him, and you tell him how happy you are for him. And I think everybody here, you know, knows that he deserves it so much because he's been that good for us.
Were you guys kind of gunning for him to try to help him reach that mark in some ways?
Yeah, for sure. You try and look for him here and there. Of course, I think you saw it today. I looked for him probably a little more than usually even. But, you know, on the other hand, it's still a team sport. And, you know, our goal was still to win this game. But in the back of your mind, you know what's going on. And, you know, you look for him.
Now you know who you're facing, San Jose.
Yep.
Were you able to kind of keep tracks of the other game that was going on?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you keep track a little bit. Of course, I think we match up well against them. You know, I think it's going to be a tough series, but you know, I think we're going to be well prepared.
Think it's going to be fun?
Yeah, for sure. It'll be lots of fun. You know, I think the crowd's going to be awesome. You know, hopefully it's going to be loud. So I think we're all really excited for it.
Do you guys think that you've sort of done enough down the stretch here that the playoff inexperience isn't going to be as big a deal as some people make it out to?
Well, I think we have quite a few guys that have played in the playoffs. So obviously we have guys that haven't played in the playoffs yet, but you know, sometimes that doesn't really matter. You know, it's still a hockey game, and you go out and you try and win the game. You know, I think obviously you know, we have a few guys that haven't played yet, but I don't think it matters too much.
How much does the late season
you know, it's not something you really think about. I only have 2 in my career, so I'm definitely not going in a game thinking I'm going to get hat tricks. So it's just a thing where, you know, you get chances and you capitalize, and then you score one, your confidence builds, and you keep going from there. So, you know, I got lucky on the first one. Nugent made a great pass in the third one, and the second one, just, you know, found a way to get it on my tape and get it off. So, you know, some nights just go like that. Some nights you could have 10 chances and not score, and another night you have 2 and score 2. So this is how it works.
Jordan, how different are the Oilers to play against when your line is going as well as it is right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it gives us a dynamic. You look at the Penguins last year, and they won. It's just, you know, you got that first line and the second line, and even with the third line going, it's tough to, you know, it's tough to match up against that. You know, you don't know what to do, and you know, that first line of ours has really carried the load this year, and it's nice to try and give them a hand and help them out.
And how much of it? I mean, it's Lucic with a hat trick one day. You just do it now. The momentum. How much is that going to be worth heading into the game on Wednesday?
Well, yeah. I mean, you want to feel confident about your game individually and then as a team. So, you know what, we have that right now, and you finish strong like this, it's gonna. I mean, that's great. That's what you want.
Jordan, Leon was kind of saying
issues tonight? Were you expecting that much pressure in your own zone that early?
Yeah, we knew they were going to come hard. I mean, I knew McDavid was going to be pushing for 100 points, and I'm sure the whole team wanted to get it for him. And they wanted to. I'm sure they wanted to have a good finish to the season to go into playoffs, and they played well tonight.
I feel like a lot of nights on the road this season.
Yeah, I mean, it was just. I mean, most of the games we were in, most of the games that. On the road, I found that we were there 1-goal games. We were losing by 1 or, empty net goals, and we just got to find ways to win.
You finish off the year leading this team in scoring, and that's a rare feat for a lot of players that have come through this organization over the past decade. What does that mean to you?
I think it gives me confidence. At the same time, it's still a disappointing season from a team standpoint. You want to win, you want to do better, you want to, make the playoffs. And for me personally, it's good to help your team on the scoreboard. But the main thing here is winning.
You seen the building blocks here in the team from last year to this year to next?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think a big thing for us is staying healthy. The last couple of years, we haven't been healthy enough. We, have had lots of injuries, and we haven't found ways to close out games, and that's something we got to get better at. And I think we have the right player, the right personnel to do so.
Yeah, we didn't have our best. They seemed to have a lot of speed tonight, back-to-backs. Are tough on some of our guys, I think. But, it was, I thought pretty good first period, but I think we were great after that.
You knew they'd be coming at you in waves. You knew they'd be fired up to get their captain 100 points. Was it just almost too much to handle once they were able to get things going in the second on the scoreboard?
He was hard to handle tonight. Like, whenever he was on the ice, he was coming hard, and he's a good player. He gave us lots of trouble. We just weren't good enough tonight.
Bo was going to finish off a frustrating year leading this team in scoring. I know everybody would like to have better results in the win column, but what do you think something like that can do for his confidence as he grows in this league with this club?
Well, I think it should be good for him. You know, it's got to be a good feeling coming in from when, you know, a couple years ago where he started to where he is now, leading the team in scoring. You know, I think he's logging lots of minutes, power play, penalty killing, and against top teams. So he's moved into being a good player, a very good player at this level, and you got to give him a lot of credit. Like he's worked hard for it.
On your coach's challenge, did you know right away? Did you get help on it?
We didn't know right away. You know, we could see that guy we thought was still on the ice, and that's why we made the call.
What do you think of that rule and how it's applied?
That's a tough one. You know, like it's a hard rule because, you know, if you try to say, well, as if he's a foot offside, is that too much? Because you don't want to take away the close calls, really. Like, but then you just get into gray areas. So it's a hard rule to call. You know, you want it to be fair. So, you know, it's a rule.
Does the season end here, Willie, with any regrets over the course of the year?
You know, I talked about that before today. You always have regrets when you lose. Like after a game, you're always going to go, well, I should have done this or I should have done that. But I wouldn't do anything different with the information I had when I made that decision. At the time I made the decision, I believed what I did, and you know, when you mix the lineup tonight, they get scored on. Do you wish you wouldn't have done it? Yeah, you do. But was it the best move at the time? I believed it was. So that's going to happen sometimes, and you know, it's disappointing when it doesn't work. But you still have to make the calls you believe in. Thank you.
Thought on the season in general to start off, Connor. Like, you guys surprised a lot of people this year.
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, we have a great group of guys in here. It's been a real treat to be able to play with this group, and you know, you see how the fans have kind of rallied around us, and you know, it makes coming to the rink and playing out there a lot of fun.
What does an Art Ross trophy mean to you?
It hasn't really sunk in yet, honestly. I don't really know what to say. It means so much to me. You know, but like I keep saying, I would not be in this position if it weren't for the guys on the team, guys like Leon and Patty, those guys that I played with all year long. Even up and down the lineup, though, it's such an honor to be able to play with this group.
Connor, Leon talked about how he was determined to look at you as much as he could to get you the puck. Did you notice that right away, and kind of awkward in a fun way that guys are looking at you that much?
Yeah, but it was fun. We tried to have as much fun with it as we could. Kind of a stressful time down the stretch. Him battling to be in the top 10 and that kind of thing, and myself battling with Art Ross. But we try to have as much fun with it as we can, and we both were successful, and that's always good.
Leon got a nice bonus as well for being in the top 10.
That's exactly what we was talking about. Yeah, it's that's a lot of money, and I'm sure he'll enjoy that. So. No, we did it together. Honestly, I wouldn't be in the position I am without him, and vice versa. So. And you can't forget about Patty. He does so much for us both. So, it's been fun playing with those guys.
On the point, you take the puck into the over center, and it's a 3-on-2, and the whole crowd kind of gets off their chair a little, and they could see something coming. Could you see the point coming at that time?
I just tried to get it into Leon's hands. He was going to make a good play with it. Just tried to put it there. Drake did a good job of taking the stick, and it was not the nicest play I'll make this year and had made this year, but I'll definitely take it.
Connor, people will look at this series coming up against San Jose and point to the experience difference, but I mean the way you guys have finished and the confidence you seem to be playing with, do you think that does enough to mitigate that difference?
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence. We obviously understand the experience knock that's going to be against us, but we do have guys that have been there, have played there, guys who have won, guys who have played in the finals. So we do have that experience, and we can rely on those guys. And at the end of the day, it's still hockey. I think everyone talks about playoff hockey and all that, but it's still the game that we've all been playing since we were young. So I think that part of it doesn't change.
It's a team that you've beaten a few times recently. I mean, does that mean something to have beaten them a couple times recently right before seeing them in the playoffs?
I'm not sure. I think it's a different animal. They also had some injuries. They're missing a couple of key guys, and they make the world of a difference. So I think we can feel good about beating them a few times, I guess, but it doesn't change anything.
Just open up here at home. You guys have won 9 in a row. What are you expecting on Wednesday night?
I hope the crowd's ready to go. I hope they're rocking. We're excited. It's going to be a fun night, and yeah.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Connor McDavid.
Well, Todd, I guess just start maybe with Connor. Wins the Art Ross, gets 100 points, and you tell his teammates were almost as happy as he was.
Maybe happier. Felt like the night was, the night was about the win and getting the team prepared, but also taking care of the captain who's taking care of us. And there was actually a few frustrated players because they felt they had an opportunity to maybe finish when the puck was on his tape, or on their tape, pardon me. But the excitement when he got that 100th point on the bench to a man, players, coaches, the training staff, anybody around the bench, was immense, and we're proud of him. We're happy to have him.
Todd, before you start preparing the playoffs, do you take a moment to kind of look at this regular season and kind of take a step back and see that all you guys have accomplished?
Well, I think you have to. It's a long, long year. It's a marathon. You go through highs and lows, and you look back at some of the goals you set out as a hockey club, team goals, not necessarily individual goals, and you review them, and you take a look at where you've improved, areas where you still have to continue to work, and that's long-term evaluation. Looking ahead for years to come, you have to continue to build your team. But really, that's almost done already. We're beginning to focus now, or we have been focusing in the last week on the playoffs, the way we've divvied up our responsibilities. We've had some of our staff working on pre-scouts for quite a while now, and we feel like we're in a good spot and ready to play.
Todd, Connor just winning the Art Ross, he said he wasn't quite sure what it means to him yet. It hasn't quite sunk in, but what does it mean to you, just knowing the players that have won that trophy before?
Well, I bet you the words that come out of Connor's mouth is it's a team trophy. I couldn't have done it without my teammates. I appreciate the opportunity. I haven't heard the interviews, but I just know how he carries himself. And that trophy is a team trophy. He's got a lot of help from a lot of his teammates, and he'll be the first to drag everybody into it. So I think it's a pretty good rallying piece of hardware for our group. It wasn't one individual that just went out and did it. Of course, he played a big part in it, but everybody helped him, and just knowing him, that's how he's going to answer the question, and it's a good thing for us.
Todd, heading into this series, you'll have the disadvantage experience-wise, but the way that your team has played all season, but really the last couple of months, are you less concerned about experience given the level your team has hit and the way a lot of your players have been?
Well, the approach that we're going to take is we're going to play game 83. It just happens that from 83 to 90, we're going to play the same team. But we're not going to change a lot as a team. We're going to continue to try and improve from night to night. You have to do that in the playoffs. Preparation will be a little more extensive than what it normally is because the games come so fast during the regular season. Post-game evaluation and adjustments as you move forward is a little bit different because you're continuing on to play against that team. But we don't really want to take our guys out of the rhythm that they're in. They've done a good job down the stretch, and we just want to continue on doing that.
Todd, at the trade deadline, you Pacific, Lucic, Nugent Hopkins, and Eberle, and if they got going, that would be like a massive trade line acquisition for you. Well, down the stretch, that line's been really good. Lucic hat-trick on the road, Eberle a hat-trick tonight. What specific about that trio have you seen as the difference to why they're having so much success?
Well, I think they're all playing to their strengths at one given time, if that makes any sense, if that language is any good. Luch is playing physical, hard, and demanding ice. Nuge is detailed and taking care of the line. Ebbs is getting his hands back and feeling that offensive groove. So the three of them are coming together and peaking at the right time. Task gets tougher, but they're older players now in the league. They'll be able to handle it, and Luch has a lot of experience on that line. Good. Okay. Good night.